Well, good afternoon, wherever you are in podcast land. Brendan Cunningham, the real estate doctor. He was Matt Paul, and man, he does it all. And together we are those real estate guys. We're going to talk about thrills and spills and everything you want to know in 2026 because this is
We're already here.
we're here. This
Yep,
is it.
that's
It's
it.
the day after Little Christmas, one of my favorite days of the year. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all that jazz. A lot of interesting facts and figures I'm being assaulted with. We have a guest here. We have Mike Burke from Crosscut. He's just lurking, but he's going to be talking. But before he jumps into the mix, I want to say hello to the friends out there. Okay.
What's up, friends?
Okay. I saw something, and I love looking at the numbers and this. They said here was a projection: top cities in the United States that will be essentially unaffordable in 2027. Not that far into the distance.
No.
Okay, into the future. What would be the number one city that this didn't shock me because I know the city.
Where's this information coming
And it's information from I don't know. I'll find the source. But I was looking, and it gave me this top 10. I saw it on an MSN feed, and I said I have to go a little deep and find out what's going on here.
Yeah.
Number one, Montclair, New Jersey. Montclair was always pricey.
Yeah.
And then if you're really pricey, you go to Upper Montclair. And he said, well, we've talked about Montclair. We're not in Montclair, New Jersey, but we could be. Nashville, number two. Nashville, New Hampshire. Used to be number one most popular city in the United States. Still nice. Phoenix, Arizona. Number five. I really had to scratch my beard, and we can all do that.
Yes.
That's why we grow these. That's what. Bring your own beard. Are you ready? Number five. Buffalo, New York.
Really?
Buffalo, New York.
Unaffordable.
Okay, and you have to break it down. And the Indianapolis, Syracuse.
Wow.
Yeah. So what's going on here? I say, okay, let's think about this. Is it really going to be unaffordable? Oh, no. Is New York City unaffordable?
For a lot of people.
For a lot of people, it is. Does that mean there's nobody living there?
No.
No, there's still 8, 9, 10 million people living down there. They're all screaming. They're all complaining. When I see unaffordable, what it means to me is the weeping and gnashing of teeth is going to be that much harder, that much higher. It's already starting to get a little pricey around. Now, relative to other places, it's still a great deal. But for the average Joe that's been living here,
Sticker shock.
it's going to be a little crazy. So, as I said, last episode and this episode before that, and the episode before that, 26 is your year, man. If you're going to buy, this is the year to come in out of the weather. To make sure that maybe that can happen for you, we got this palooka over here. Mike Burke from Cross County. Say hello to the folks out there.
What's going
What's going on? So you're in the mortgage business.
Yep.
And you got a little shop. Is it like people know about you?
Yeah, I mean, I think they should. People that really do a lot of business here would know Cross Country is one of the leaders here.
It's one of the leaders. Okay.
Yes.
And you've also probably heard us say, listen, if you're looking for a lender, this is my advice. You always want to go to a mortgage broker or a mortgage banker more specifically sometimes. But if you just go to the bank directly, they have their products and that's it. Citizens is a wonderful bank and it's where I do my banking, but they have their products. You have their products, you have this guy's, you have everyone's products.
We're in a sort of different space. We're so big that, we'll sell directly to like Fannie, Freddie, and Ginnie Mae, right? So even if you went to a broker, they're selling the same products, going to the same end place in your conventional loans or for government loans or via FHA. They're going to like Ginnie Mae for governments, or they're going to Fannie or Freddie for their conventional, right? So, they might say they shop at a million banks, but it's all the end place for your conventional loans, right? Or end brokers or end investors, right? Then in addition, so we have, Fannie, your conventional Fannie, Freddie, Ginnie, but then you're also looking at like Sunny Mae for first-time home buyers, which you can more or less do a first mortgage for 97% financing and then a down payment assistance loan for another 3%. The rates are way below market. It's a New York State product that you have to do with a direct lender offers them. So brokers don't offer those products.
Oh.
And those products are subsidized through the state for below market rates. So the state sort of picks it up and offers that benefit to its residents in the state for below market products. Like you have to be, and it's for moderate to low income individuals and families. And they're trying to make, the affordability thing, where do we come up with this down payment? How can we make it happen? that's a product that New York State supplies its residents with. So it's a really good product for first-time home buyers. Is Sunny Mae? It's probably the best.
Yeah,
It's been around for a long time, and I can remember one of my sort of sticker shop memories was when my office was in downtown Brooklyn, over on Court Street. I can remember looking when the interest rates were like 18% all the grade. People lined up around Citibank, waiting for the Sunny Mae loan. It was 10.5. They were lined up 3 times around the city block, lined up.
Yeah, the
10.5%.
rates are really, really attractive. And the way it works there is if you're a lender that does Sunny Mae loans, New York State says, here's the fees for the product, here's the rate. New York State sets everything to them.
Mandated that.
So not everybody opts in to join that program because it is a little bit more, strict. But we do, and I think it's a really big benefit. We're always trying to make customers for life. And if we can get somebody in their first home, do a good job, maintain that relationship. Other products we have, like First Time Homebuyer World, we have a Smart Start product, which is a conventional loan, and it is also for low to moderate income home buyers. It offers 2% of the purchase price, up to 2% of the purchase price for a grant, right? They just give you that money at closing. So that's a really good product that we have. Some of the unusual things we have are non-QM stuff. So, non-qualified mortgages, things that fall outside of your Fannie, Freddie, outside of your FHA, VAs. These are what we call near misses on a full doc program. So, somebody's had a bankruptcy recently. Somebody's had, just something that would trigger a non-qualification on their product, but it's a strong loan besides one little thing. We have a place to put that for bank statement loans. For people that are self-employed, a lot of times people will reduce their tax burden income on their taxes
to nothing.
they're obligated to pay what they have to pay.
Right? They're driving the big Mercedes, but they're making no money.
So we know that a lot of times those people, the revenue coming in is good, for their household. So what we'll use 12 months bank statements for their business and calculate their income based off of those deposits, not off their tax returns. We'll use 1099. You guys are probably 1099 being real estate agents.
Yeah. Okay.
We have a 1099. We'll take your 1099. There's options. We can do 90% of your 1099 as your income, right? We'll do foreign national programs for people buying in America that are living overseas, buying investment properties. We have a product for that. Asset loans. You have somebody that come into cash recently, didn't make money, shows no income, but they have large chunks of cash. We can do in the bank in an institution. We can lend off that. So
does credit score take effect with that as well?
Credit score definitely in all those products, but we're pretty, I think you get down to like a 620 credit score for a lot of those products.
Wow.
A lot of times the down payment matters too for us. You know what I mean? But it's solutions for people out there, that not a lot of other people have, and they're our own product. We also have different institutions that will invest with us for these type of products. They're trying to hit those numbers.
One of the things you hear agents saying all the time is that every real estate transaction is different. I would say there's some truth to that. Yeah. There's some logic to that. And of course, every real estate transaction has commonalities to it.
Yes.
These are government loan things, these are whatever.
Timelines.
But just from what Mike has said so far, I think our listeners can certainly get a sense that this is complicated stuff. There's a million different possibilities out there.
Options.
And one cookie doesn't fit every cookie slot. It just doesn't, which is why it's really important that if you're looking to buy or looking to sell and then buy another one, whatever, that you really want to get involved with your mortgage rep as soon as possible.
Yes.
You talk to us, we're going to send you to a mortgage person as soon as possible because they're really going to help you navigate what you need. Okay.
And you coach too, right? You probably help people with
across. Yes, that's my world.
Yep. Yes.
I think for me, what I try to do is I try to standardize everything I do. So when I talk to a client, I sort of let's talk through the same points every time, right? You want to praise where the referral came from. You want to find out the most important things. You want to find out their goals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, where do you want to be?
Where do you want to be? When do you want to be there?
Right. Like, I want to buy a house now, and maybe I want to start becoming an investor in a short time after that, right? So it's like, okay, so maybe you don't want to put down all that money you have and just put a little bit down, right? Maybe I am moving to a city for a short period of time, need a place to live because I'm working here for 3 years. You want to talk to people about like what their goals are, right? And then it comes to like the selling point because like nobody wants a mortgage, right? We're a means to an end, right? They want the dream, they want the house, they want the white picket fence, right? So we're just trying to figure out documentation because to make sure the pay stubs right, people on the right path, right? Because we want to make it as smooth as possible, as painless as possible, and take out all the questions during the process.
So you said
You're more likely to do it again.
Yes.
You said painless as possible, and I was thinking as you were talking, I'm the real estate doctor and all that, but and you're a doctor too. We're all we like to work with our clients like they're our patients. We want to make sure that they get better. But we know about mortgages, we know about your world, but you're more like the anesthesiologist in the operation. We're the doctor. We know how the anesthesia works. In a pinch, we could probably jump in. But you know what? It's such a specialty, and it's such a critical piece of the operation that without you, everything goes wrong. And sometimes the reverse is also true. With you, if something goes wrong, you're the first guy. Unfortunately, really throw him to the bus. But yeah, because it's a very, very complicated part of the transaction. Does it have to be? It doesn't have to, but you know what? Because of government regulation, they've kind of forced it on everybody.
Right. So that's the thing. If you don't do your due diligence, they can come.
And a million forms you guys have to come up with that. 99% of them seem like they're disclosures like we have, but that's part of the deal.
Well, and just like for us, I mean, the laws, rules are changing almost yearly as well, right?
You got to stay on top of that continuing education. You got to stay on top of what's. But you just know the reason why you're getting this stuff is because somebody was playing games.
Yes, right. Yep.
You know what I mean? And they're just trying to consumer protection, which you get. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, you live in a world sometimes where people play games too much, and the government.
Well, yeah, and depending on the environment, I can remember when I first got into business a really long time ago. The rule of thumb was essentially if you could breathe, you could get a mortgage. Now, you might be paying 20% or 25% from the guys with the noses like that, but you could get one, and it wasn't always the best thing because a lot of guys, they couldn't make payments. They were way out of their element. Yeah. And it was, I don't want to say it was a scandal, but it became somewhat scandalous. Yeah, it wasn't a good thing. So with the regulations, there's a reason why they have them. And unfortunately, you have to wade through them up to your hips, and so do we. That's what it is. But yeah, so back to the 2027, it's going to become unaffordable. So why are they projecting that? I know why they're talking about Montclair, New Jersey, because it's proximity to the Big Apple, and it's also a really nice town. Here, what we're seeing more and more and more are where we used to have the brain drain, and even in the early 2000s at UB, if you were a business major, part of your last semester, getting your BA in business, they'd give you a list of cities to go to. Don't move here. They don't do that anymore. Now they stay here. My daughter stayed here. She's a lawyer. In fact, she's got in our building now. She stayed here, and you're seeing more and more working young professionals that are staying here. You got a bunch of young people that they're here. Why? Because they like it here.
There's opportunities.
There's opportunities. And based on that, they're saying, well, yeah, that's because it's becoming increasingly more popular. And we're also seeing more and more people with the cocoon jobs coming here. In New York City, I'm paying $5,000 a month for rent. That's crazy. Maybe I could go there, and for $2,500 a month, I can own a house, and a nice house.
I see a lot of that. I see a lot of people from out of town, remote jobs. I mean, here's the thing. Western New York's a great place to raise a family.
Right.
There's really good schools, right? I think it's a really big draw for people is to come back here and raise their kids in an environment there with awesome schools. I mean, pay a bunch of taxes, but our schools are awesome. So it makes sense, right? As opposed to, like you said, if you're in New York and you're making $300,000, you can't afford a lot.
You're squeaking through,
right?
You're squeaking through.
If you're living in Buffalo making $300,000, you're living good.
Yeah.
So I think that's like a big reason why we're seeing such movement here, which we needed. You know what I
We
mean?
did.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's great to see like really young professionals come back
Mhm.
with different ideas and stuff. And I think it really helps our.
Are you seeing any of this? Because you work outside of New
Yeah.
York State. You are.
Well, I see more people coming here really than anywhere.
Okay.
Like and honestly, the difficulty is they're a lot of times in a financial position much stronger than somebody from here. You
Well,
know?
yes,
So
and
that's-
that drives
so
things
yeah,
up.
yeah.
If they're coming in from Boston, they're coming in from New York City, they're coming in from San Francisco, they're coming in with suitcases full of money.
Right.
Okay.
I just had a couple. I mean, I had a couple recently closed from. They're living in New Jersey. They had young kids, and they wanted to raise their children in Buffalo. They just closed on a house late last month, just before the new year. And then I had a couple in East Aurora, high dollar price from Boston, and come down with a bunch of cash, big down payment. So, they're winning these deals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they have the money and they just come with power. Because if you own a house out there, if you bought a house 10 years ago for $400,000 in a major city, now that house is worth $1 million. So they're selling their house and they're getting, they're able to put big chunks down.
It does make it very competitive.
Well, it makes it competitive. It makes it a little bit skewed for the people that have been here.
Mhm.
Okay, and that's where I think they're talking about affordability and the strain.
Yep.
And it's a real thing. I mean, there's no question. And we need rental properties like everyone else does, and it's tough. But the fact that other people have said this is good, and it's because we need to get the information out.
Yeah.
I saw something else from Reddit on Red Door. What is it? Now, what is it called?
So Reddit is
No,
is
not
an
Reddit.
app, but that's not
It's the red thing. I can't think of Red Door, isn't it?
Reddit real estate.
Yes,
Yeah.
they had something. 2 most competitive cities in America, and I almost fell off the chair. I looked at this. First one was Irondequoit. Irondequoit's very nice. It's a little
Outside of
suburb
Rochester.
outside of Rochester.
Yep.
Number 2, which I've been talking about for at least 6 months here. I said, "Oh, it's good to see that somebody agrees with me." Tonawanda.
Wanda, yep.
Tonawanda. Tonawanda is the place you want to be, man.
Yeah.
And because of that, the prices are going up.
Yep.
Yeah. And North Tonawanda, I think, is even a step better.
Yeah.
Just in terms of being
And
more.
Pendleton is
more
within
competitive.
that, So Pendleton's real nice.
Pendleton has the other thing because you're close to Rochester and you're close to Buffalo.
Yep.
You can go
Yeah.
both sides. I'm surprised that hasn't taken off fast just because of that.
This is a lot of lack of inventory. I had a client in town this past weekend in North Town. There's just a handful.
Yeah.
Of houses that are 4-bedroom, 2-bath, what they're looking for. So,
Yeah. The downside as a real estate agent is, when people say, "Oh, it's a hot market," and Buffalo's been the hottest market in America for 2 years now, and now they're saying it's going to be 3 in a row, a hat trick. Yeah, what does that mean? It means there's just not a lot to sell,
yeah,
and you're banging your head against the wall. You got a lot of competitive offers. We're still seeing that, and maybe we don't have 8, 10, and 20 competitive offers, but we still have
Couple,
7 to 10. So it makes it tough. Coolest program that you have out there right now. Totally subjective.
Our totally coolest program. I like the business bank statement programs
Mhm.
for people that are self-employed. I think that's a real winner.
Do you typically get them into like DCR?
No. This is just we do a DSCR loan for investors, but a business bank statement loan for someone self-employed, put 20% down. Because here's the conversation. If they don't write, the rate's a little bit higher, not crazy. So you check somebody to see if they qualify conventional, and then no, you're right too much off. So you can get a little bit higher of a rate, not much. The person will come back and be like, well, the bank was at 6.5 and you're at 6.875. And I'm like, well, you didn't qualify at the bank. You have the conventional program, And I'm like, here's the thing. You can either pay taxes on $120,000 more a year, or you can have a mortgage payment higher by $2,000 a year. What's the best choice? So I think in that program, it's really good. And I think a lot of times, what you want to do as a loan officer, it's just not about rate all the time. Everybody's like, hey, this or that. It's about wealth and finding the best product. Because you'll see how people tighten up when they're like, oh, I'm that rates, I got to do this bank statement loan or a DSCR loan, and the rate's slightly higher, and you're like, yeah, well, you're investing in this property. I talked to a guy 2 days ago, nice guy, smart engineer, and he's like, I'm a single guy, I don't own a house, and I go, he's like, maybe I should wait till the rates get better,
Yeah, good
And
luck on that.
And then it's like you miss the appreciation of the house you own, right? You miss the tax benefits of writing the interest off on your mortgages. You know what I mean? Then you miss every month paying down your principal.
And you're still rolling the dice.
Right, you don't know. Right. So it's just like, I don't think everybody ever talks to them about the tax benefits, some of the appreciation that happens. And it's just not, because you got to pay to live somewhere.
Right.
And you might as well pay somewhere to get that down lower.
Yeah. If you're paying rent, you're not writing off any interest. You're not getting any. That money is going away.
So my favorite products probably are bank statement. I think it's really good.
All right, we're coming to the final stages of our descent pattern.
Yep.
Final words.
Like,
Don't do that yet. No, we're not. We want him to say. You can say things too. So how do we get a hold of you?
If you get a hold of me, just give me a call. My cell phone.
Mike Burke.
Mike Burke. You can Google search Mike Burke on Cross Country Mortgage. Just put that in your AI or into Google. And if you like smash that like button and subscribe.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. Let us know if there's anything we can address that you have questions for on the show.
And do the smash button.
Smash the subscribe button. Like Mike said. Thanks for tuning in.
And to remember, I'm Brendan Cunningham, the real estate doctor here, and together we are those real estate guys.
Well, done. Easy.
Easy.
Fun.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's really good fun with it,
Red door.